Hey guys, Miss Parnell here, going through the law notes for you. So I'm gonna have three different videos since there was three different days you can take the notes. So the first off was just talking about like types of laws in general. So the first type of law is common law. You've probably heard of that before. Oh, and if you need to pause it and write it, you can always do that because I don't usually give you a lot of time to write it. Or if you want to write it first and then go back and watch this, you can do that. Right, so common law is when it's based on court decisions and past examples rather than legal code. So this is when law is based on kind of how it's always been. So the easiest thing I always talk about with this is you've heard someone talk about like a common law marriage, like, oh, we're common law married, which means like you've lived together for a certain amount of time. And it's kind of being like, you're not legally married, like you went to the courthouse and signed a marriage certificate and had the big ceremony. You're married because like you're doing things the way you've always done it, which is the way people who've been married have always lived and done it. And so you're like basing it on basically doing things like they've always been done. That's what common law is. So someone deciding, someone's punishment or what to do, and they're basing it on the way it's always been decided. And it's not like an official legal thing, if that makes sense. A precedent is a fancy word for like something that has come before it. So it kind of goes with common law because these are the things in common law, these are the past examples that make up common law. So there's a precedent that when this happens, this is how you punish the person, or when this happens, that's what you do. And it sets a precedent. And then every time that happens after it, they kind of do the same thing. So that's how those two go together. Statutory law is made by the legislative branch and it becomes part of legal code. Way I talk about this is usually the only time people have heard of the word statute. Like statute's the technical name for all our laws. Like in North Carolina, if you look, it says general statute because it's from the General Assembly and they set the law. And it says general statute. You must go to school so however many days, however many hours a day, however many days a year. And you can start when you want, end when you want. They have that flexibility. Now this year, kind of different since we're out, but like that would be a law, how much you have to go to school. So it's a statute. It's a statutory law because the legislative branch made it up. Another example I give is people have usually heard of statutory rape. And so Yeah, maybe it's not their fault. See what I'm saying? That's civil law. So, if you went into Burger King and they didn't have the little yellow cone out telling you that the floor was wet and you slipped and fell, broke your leg, go to the emergency room, it costs $800, and you're like, I don't have $800. So you sue Burger King. That would be civil law. And they would be trying to say, like, no, I did have it so that they knew not to walk there. And you're trying to say, no, it was negligent. They didn't have it. I didn't know I couldn't walk there. I wouldn't have. I didn't want to slip and fall. That type of thing. Another example I always give, like, say me and you are neighbors, right? And there's a tree in your yard. We have like a storm tonight and it falls on my car and it crushes my car, crushes the windshield, the hood. It's gonna be like $2,000 to fix it. And I'm like, well, you need to owe me $2,000. And you're sitting over there like, lady, I don't owe you anything. I didn't go out and push that tree on your car and I don't have $2,000 to give you. And I mean, that sucks. I hate that your car got messed up, but like, I'm not paying you $2,000. So we could go to court. And I could say, like, the tree was rotting. It was dead. You'd been told to cut it like 5 times, but you didn't. It was just hanging on. So the first gust of wind, and then you look like, oh, it's your fault. But then you're over there saying, no, blah, blah, blah. That wasn't true. It wasn't dying. And I don't know why she parked under it. She knew there was going to be a tornado tonight. They kept saying it on the news. Who parks under a tree in a tornado? She was the one being negligent. And everybody's like, oh. And so that's what civil law is. You just have to decide who's right in a dispute. And so to start civil law, someone has to sue someone, and that's the lawsuit. So the lawsuit is the legal action when a party sues to collect damages from the harm that's done. The plaintiff is the person who starts it and sues. So like if I sued you for my phone, or if I sued you for the tree falling on my car, if I sued Burger King for my broken leg, I would be the plaintiff. I'm the one like going after them, starting it. The defendant is, again, the one who has to defend themselves and say why it's not their fault. Just like up here in a criminal case, the defendant says why it's not their fault. Down here, they're explaining why, yeah, it happened, and the phone got crushed, or the car got crushed, or the leg got broken, and it's bad, and I hate it, but like it's not my fault, and I shouldn't have to pay all that money. It's just, I hate that it happened to the person, but it did, and they should have to pay for it. And that is it for the first thing in notes. See you guys later. Bye.